Hi, this is Wes.
This is your boy Alan.
And we would like to welcome you to the Underground Geek Shack. Today we have with us Sam.
Sam, hi. How you doing?
How's it going?
I'm doing good. How you doing, bud?
Good, good. Alan, how you doing?
Oh yeah, I'm good. Sorry, y'all. We have to switch back and forth between mics. I'll just fix that in post. But yeah, I'm doing good. I just got back from work. It was chill. Just a regular Monday. Nothing really exciting happening. No coworkers made me mad, so that's good. That's good.
Hell yeah. That's the beauty of working sometimes. Just nobody makes you mad. No worries, no issue. I'm off today, so I don't got those problems.
That's good. Hey, look, you look more chill. You got your haircut. You look nice.
Thank you. I miss my locks already. Entirely.
Well, you can't reverse that. That's a done deal.
All right, I gotta grow them out and then reattach the locks if I wanted to.
So what are we talking about today, Wesley?
So, today we are going to be talking about DanDaDan, because DanDaDan is now getting an anime by Science Saru, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, hey, do you both want to know something?
Yeah.
So, what do you get when you clash aliens and spirits together?
I don't know, Wes. What do you get?
You get DanDaDan by Yuki no Utatsu.
Is that how you get? Oh, well, if that's the case, I want a refund. But nah, I'm very excited, to talk about DanDaDan. This is something that you have been hounding me ever since DanDaDan came out. You were like, oh, did you read DanDaDan? Did you read DanDaDan? Also, did you get the Shonen Jump app? And, when I first looked at it and I saw the teaser, for the anime, it was a thing where I looked at it. It was very colorful. It was very, poppy. It kind of reminded me of like Mob Psycho, when it came to the colors and everything, and also, the vibe of it. But I remember, you finally broke me. I went to get DanDaDan at our local Books A Million. Mm-hmm. And, it's one of those things where, I have a lot of free time at my job. So it's, I'm just going to pop it open when I'm at my front desk to see, how it is. And, I was just reading through it and, I knew you told me that it was about, aliens and also, the supernatural. And so, as I was reading it, I was like, okay, it's a love story between these two, main characters. And I was like, okay, where's this going to go? One's into supernatural. The other one doesn't believe in aliens, but the other one, it's the reverse where the other one believes in aliens, but the other one doesn't believe in the supernatural. And it definitely took a more turn than I was expecting, when it came to the very suggestive aliens and the very, let's say, this granny is kind of nasty. When it comes to banana.
Give us your bananas.
But, we're going to mainly go over, the first a few chapters in the volume 1, and Wesley, had a chance, and also Sam, did you get a chance to see the anime premiere?
Yes, I did.
So they're going to go over, the premiere when it came to the first, was it 3 episodes?
Yeah.
Yep.
And the reason I couldn't see it is because, I had to work that day, unfortunately, and so I had to wait. But it's coming out, this week. Was it on
October 3rd?
Yeah, so it's coming out on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
On a Thursday. So yeah, and
so excited.
Yeah, look, I'm excited too. Like, look, it's gonna be irritating because Wesley's gonna already seen it, and then he's gonna be.
Technically, y'all are gonna see it before me. I'm gonna be at work.
No, look, what I'm saying is that I know, like, when I see it, oh my God, this happened, you'll be like, I know, because I want to see it.
And he's read the volumes up to, what's the latest chapter?
Latest chapter is 168.
Yep, so, everything.
Almost everything. I gotta read through 168 today.
I read some of the granny fight earlier, but I took a nap, right, like, in the middle of it, because I was just like, I need to take a nap.
It'll do that sometimes. But, it's really fast.
The movie pool to weaken her, my lord.
So we already know that we're going straight into this. So let me ask both of you this question: how do you feel about Momo and Okarun?
How do I feel about them?
Mm-hmm. Like from when we first started.
I like their dynamic.
Yeah.
I like that she's a gyaru. I like that she's kind of like, she's not like a full-fledged gyaru like her homegirl, who's like got the tan skin and all this stuff, but she's kind of like rough and tumble. She's almost like a, you know how like animes have like them bad boy characters, like Yusuke types? She's almost like a Yusuke type.
Yeah.
Because she's like rude, but she's got a heart of gold, but she'll beat your ass. And like, she's attractive, but she's not like, I mean, there's a few suggestive poses that they do with her because, you know, that's just manga. That's anime. But, like, I really like her character. And Okarun's hilarious. Like, I love him. Like, he's so funny. Or Takakura Kin.
Which we are no longer allowed to say because that is basically the crush that Momo has on a Japanese actor who basically is named Ken Takakura. And anyone that says, "Oh, Ken Takakura," that's like, nope, can't say that name anymore. Mm-hmm. So she gives our Ken Takakura the name Okarun since he loves Nicole.
And his hair gets cooler as the series goes on.
Yeah. Like, look, that brother did many like hair changes. Then a couple of brothers back in the day, that brother went from an afro to a jury curl.
All types of stuff.
I was surprised if he get some dreads later on, but I was really vibing with the characters. You know, it's like one of those things where you first start like a new manga, and the thing for me that will make or break any anime or any story in general is the characters. Because there've been some anime, I'm not going to say because I don't want to upset nobody, where it may have a good story, but those characters can sometimes get on my nerve or just be bland. But I find these characters, very appealing, kind of very relatable, because the thing I loved about Momo's character is what they do is that, you have her granny who actually is involved, the supernatural.
The spirit medium.
Yeah, spirit medium. And, her granny, which we find out, man, she is thick. But you find out, that Momo is embarrassed by her granny because, her granny's like, hey, do these, like, silly things in the morning to, give, like, a rid of evil spirits, and, she gets made fun of. And I found it, like, very, like, compelling because that's something that, some kids can deal with where, they may have a different culture or different rituals that they do in the morning that other kids might find quote unquote weird or bizarre. And, it's one of those things where Momo's just trying to fit in and be popular that she has to push away some of her family dynamics and her family culture just to fit in high school.
No, I get that. Sam, how about you?
About Momo? About her grandma?
Yeah. About Seiko?
Seiko? I actually was kind of really caught, since I've only seen the movie and I've read some of the manga, I was really, like, caught off guard, because I'm thinking, like, she's going to be, like, they got the priestess outfit in the beginning of the flashback, right. So I'm thinking she's going to be, like, a Kikyo type, kind of stoic, very reserved. And she is kind of, but she's way more, like, hilarious and youthful, and she is a babe. I really like that, like that moment right before they go to fight off the grandma. She has this moment where it's just, like, I need to hug you.
Right.
Like, you are still my granddaughter, and I love you. And, like, I don't die, please.
Right, because like when we get introduced to Seiko, and because Momo's like, she's like, like when we get introduced to her, and I'm like, you just see this person giving a prediction to this celebrity, and I'm like, who are you? And then it's like, oh, you're this age. No, I'm actually this. Oh, you're married. No, I'm actually single.
Old lady get up.
Right, and it's like when you actually see Seiko, I'm like, you look too young to be a grandma.
I mean, to me, it kind of reminded me of Lady Tsunade from Naruto. Yeah. Where Lady Tsunade actually uses techniques to make herself look younger, but she actually old. That's why Naruto keeps calling her Grandma Tsunade.
She probably does.
But
probably.
I mean, she was definitely kicking that granny spirit's butt. When she first appeared, right when he was about to munch on Momo.
Yeah.
Like, she already, like, caught him in the trap, and they caught him out. They made a protective barrier for herself in the midst of this, and then caught him inside. That was great. Like, I just love that little, seeing that in, like, animated was amazing. And seeing the manga, just the manga actually follows like the anime, or the anime follows the manga to a T.
Exactly.
Like every panel.
Wow! You guys sound so happy that you actually watched the anime in advance. Me have to wait until like Wednesday,
Thursday.
Thursday, even worse.
Actually, Wednesday. 12 a.m.
So, yeah.
Man, I gotta
if you're up.
Look, man, I ain't doing that. But something I will say is that the show does definitely remind me of some aspects of Mob Psycho, because when she was doing that whole thing of talking to that actor who was like, "Oh yeah, you're at this age. No, I'm this age. No, you have kids. No, I don't have kids." I thought maybe it was gonna go into that kind of Mob Psycho, like Reagan aspect, where he pretends to have psychic powers, but he actually doesn't have psychic powers. But no, it turns out it's like, no, she actually right by everything.
Right.
And another thing, I kind of want to get into is that, so I've seen the cover of DanDaDan because, of course, you showed it to me a lot. And it's always this character, with this smile kind of mask and this long hair. I don't know what kind of color it is again, because manga black and white. I don't know if it's green or white, but I was like,
white hair.
Okay, but as I was reading it, I found that, wait a minute, he gets his power from an evil grandmother, and he loses his what to get his powers.
Yep.
It made me realize that, man, we are really in the age. I mean, I know it's kind of been this way for a little bit, but going back to Naruto, of the main character being possessed or having some ancient evil within him to get his powers. But from this to what was it? JJK to. What was the recent one? It starts with a K. Kaiju. Kaiju number 8.
Yeah.
And also Chainsaw Man. It's like we are on a rapid
There's a lot of demon possession.
A lot of I get my powers from a demon, or I get my powers from this ancient evil that I have to keep inside and also kind of work with.
That is the thing right now.
One thing that both of you probably don't know is that Yuki Nobutatsu was an assistant to Tatsuki Fujimoto.
Oh, okay.
The guy who wrote Chainsaw Man.
Okay.
So, not only that, but then he was also an assistant to Yuji Kaku, the guy who wrote Hell's Paradise.
Really? Okay.
So, he's taking both lessons from both of those authors, and then going into to make DanDaDan.
I like his better.
Yeah.
I like DanDaDan's better.
I don't know if it's going to go like the Mob Psycho route, where Mob Psycho I feel like is way more like light and way more like laid back and way more on the humor. Of course, Mob Psycho has moments where it's serious, but Mob Psycho did this thing where you think like, oh no, it's going to get very serious. These people are dead. Then to another next episode, I don't know, his parents are fine. Like everything's cool. Everything's all right. I kind of like how you brought up, maybe people worked on different things and went off to do their own thing. Kind of reminds me of a lot of the Cartoon Network show that came out in the 2010s, where you had a show like Adventure Time, but the Adventure Time creators like Rebecca Sugar went off to do Steven Universe, and some creators went off to do, regular show or Gumball. I kind of like it how everybody, works on a project, and then they in their head is like, I have my own ideas, and they take an inspiration and do their own thing.
Right. I don't even know what to say to that one.
I'm trying to think of something else we could talk about. I don't know. What do y'all think of like the art direction of it?
Oh, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really good. So, Alan, you don't know this, but like when we went to go watch the first 3 episodes, right? So before we ever got to watch the first 3 episodes, we actually got to see like a behind the scenes kind of thing with Yuki Nobutatsu himself, his editor, or when it came to the voice actors. But what I'm going to talk about is his editor. So, DanDaDan is also a romance kind of story. And so the thing that his editor said was, I'm kind of surprised that he actually took my advice. His editor said, hey, you want to put romance into your story? Here's 100 romance manga. Read them. And so Nobutatsu sat there. He was like, okay. And then he read all of them. And he was like, all right, cool. I now know how to put incorporate romance into my story. Bam. You got a romance story within aliens and spirits fighting each other. Yeah, exactly. So,
I am excited to see where the romance goes.
Right.
Because you can tell she definitely likes him on some level. She's got that whole entire like tsundere thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh, you like him? No, I don't. What are you talking about? And she like, I don't know. And she doesn't like necessarily punch him, but she does like throw him around a lot,
Right.
just to save his life in the beginning, like stretch of time. So it's like, I'm curious to see how like she develops those feelings and how she comes to terms with him being the exact guy that she likes, but in a short, nerdy boy's shell. And I'm also really curious to see his development because right now, like I said, I'm only at the beginning of the granny fight, but it seems like she's been training a lot, and he still hasn't even begun to learn how to control his own power. So I'm curious. There's no way she has to always control his power. There has to be. I can't wait for that moment.
There has to be like a moment where he's able to still use her power by himself.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get that.
Definitely.
I'm waiting to see what other spirits or other creatures we're gonna see in and of like that. Because most of the creatures that we've seen so far have either been like just jumped straight into just straight up yokai, or even some of them have been used from stuff that we have over here on the West, and
So I got a question for you guys who have read the story, caught up, including you. So, is it he just loses his thing and the grandma has it forever? Does he how does he keep the powers, or does it is it like a new demon that possesses him and has a new contract that needs to be made to where he gets like a different set of powers? Is that I'm so curious how that works.
So. I'll tell you one.
Mm-hmm.
He gets one. Let's say this. He gets one ball back.
Mm-hmm.
And so
one ball back. Dang.
So let's because I'm trying to keep it light for you since
I don't want to spoil it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's say he gets one ball back, and so he'll still retain the power of Turbo Granny.
Okay.
So he still has that, but then. Like the ensemble that you're gonna get introduced to is good.
Okay.
So there's gonna be people that you're not gonna like, and then you're gonna be like, I really don't like this person. But then when you see their backstory, then you're gonna be like, aw, dang.
Oh, so it's so much more than the first volume. So it kind of pulls like a Demon Slayer, where it's like, man, this demon sucks. Why are you so mean? And then you hear the backstory. It's like, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry your mama went out like that.
Aren't you guys kind of tired of the sad backstory? Like, what can't be?
So the thing is that even if they're like a yokai, like when you look at them, you're gonna be like, what the heck are you? And then you're like, no. I definitely don't like you. But then you're like, okay, Yokai was a human at one point. And then you're like, so who were they? What were they as a human?
That's true.
When you actually see one of the Yokai's backstory, you're like, dang.
That's how a lot of Yokais work in Japan. Like, there's always like a reason why that thing is evil. Or
I'm nah. Like, look, we all have problems. Go to therapy. Don't try to destroy the world. But something that you brought up that I find so funny is I forgot. I read it like 2 weeks ago. The first volume of DanDaDan, and so I forgot that it was called Turbo Granny. And so I'm thinking back in my head with Naruto, I have the Naito Fox inside me. From JJK, I forgot the big bad demon's name.
Sukuna.
So I have Sukuna inside me, this ancient evil. What you got inside you, Turbo Granny?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, there's the ensemble of characters that you guys are going to meet is hilarious.
How many chapters does the first volume cover?
First volume only covers 4.
4 chapters.
The first 4 chapters. So basically, remember what we saw in the
movie?
In the movie, it's basically chapter 1 to chapter 3, and then
to be continued.
And then to be continued. So we're basically going to get chapter 4 within the fourth episode.
I'm curious how the episodes are going to play out, because the movie kind of condensed them.
Yeah.
So the episodes
which I think was a good thing.
Yeah.
So it's not like, hey, we're going to instantly stop here, roll the credits, and then we're going to just restart it.
That's true. That is how it worked down. I'm so curious what the Money Cat's gonna be in the story. The one that was dancing with the little gray cat in the
Right.
credits. I'm so curious what that's going to be. I'm excited for the series.
I'm glad you're excited. I'm excited for it. I'm still keeping up to date with it. So
I like how high octane it is too.
the thing because I never actually told you both how I got into it.
Mhm.
So how I got into it was because this is way before it showed up on the Shonen Jump app. So I have Manga Plus in my office. So I was like, let me see what new manga's showing up today. And then I see DanDaDan. I was like, what the heck is DanDaDan? So I clicked on it and I read the first chapter. I said, okay, this is going somewhere, and I'm here for it.
Like, I always know, I know when an anime is about to pop off and it's about to become really popular when I see it everywhere, when I'm not even looking at it. I remember this happened, first anime that I knew was going to blow up was Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
It wasn't even on the internet. It was when people were wearing those jackets everywhere in high school.
Oh, the Scouts?
Yeah. And another one I knew was going to blow up was Demon Slayer when I saw it everywhere. And I'm trying to think. JJK was one, of course.
Right.
My Hero Academia was one that blew up. So it just feels like every year there's always that one anime that is able to, stand out that people talk about.
You think the DanDaDan will be the one this year?
Probably.
There's been a lot of good ones.
I feel like
didn't Chainsaw Man come out this year too?
No, well, I've seen a lot of cosplay for Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
I think DanDaDan would be a good.
If it was on Crunchyroll, it'd probably pop off
Oh
more.
yeah, no, definitely.
I don't know. Look, I'm not in high school anymore, so I can't just go around and be like, "So, hello, fellow kids. What's your favorite anime, sir? What you doing here?" Let me go. I'm just asking the youth about anime.
I just want to talk about anime. That's what they all say.
What's your thoughts on Turbo Granny?
What's your thoughts on Turbo Granny? Arrest him.
Start getting the car.
He's got a gun.
I feel like, with certain anime, there's always that level where you don't know, like okay, am I, if this is going to blow up or just going to be, it's going to be successful, but not going to be as big as, the giant ones like JJK or,
I think DanDaDan will have a, pun intended, cult following for sure.
I feel like it would.
Like Mob Psycho is not super popular, but it has a solid, loyal cult following. Like, it's not, no one talks about Mob Psycho, no one has gear for Mob Psycho, but, a lot of people, do that. A small, I feel like a large but small pocket of people really mess with Mob Psycho. Much less than they mess with, Jujutsu Kaisen or Chainsaw Man or whatever. I think DanDaDan's going to fit in that Mob Psycho pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it this feels like an anime that can actually end in a solid amount of chapters before it just gets too much.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of modern anime is starting to do that, where they're not going on and on and on. I feel like, in the early days when it came to Naruto, especially when it came to Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball. I mean, One Piece is still the king.
Right.
Oh my God.
I remember, I wasn't following One Piece like that back in the day. And then I remember a few years ago when we actually met back in college. And then one of my friends was talking about One Piece. I'm like, One Piece? This is the end? I'm like, nah, man, it's still going. It's still going?
Yeah.
It's been on since 4 Kids, and 4 Kids gone.
I remember being a kid in 1999, first watching One Piece. And now I'm a 35-year-old man.
Still watching
in
One Piece?
2024, still watching One Piece.
And I'm going to be...
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
And one of us is going to be at each other's funerals and be like, man, what are we going to do after the funeral? Watch One Piece.
That's right. Did he get the One Piece? Bro, it's still going on.
Yeah, but I feel like,
my grandkids enjoy it.
I know a lot of people have said, that these popular manga that came out 2 years ago, 3 years ago is starting to end. I know JJK just ended. My Hero Academia just ended, even though it came out like 10 years ago. I feel like we're in an age where a lot of people just want short and sweet.
When it comes to Undead Unluck, apparently with the latest chapter that it came out, I'm nowhere near caught up with reading it, but apparently with the latest chapter, everyone's like, oh, is the author saying that the Undead Unluck is ending? Are they trying to get, is it trying to get canceled already? So, authors are trying to, how can I end this quickly, but not to the point where I'm getting hounded by my editor to end the show or the series like that.
I mean, I just not just in the manga industry, but also when it comes to entertainment industry worldwide. It's one of those things when like, unless you're like an independent creator and you do your own thing on YouTube or on Patreon, you're supported by like your audience, and you don't have to like go through a company to get your work out there and make money. It's like one of those things where, like, when you like pitch a show to any like company, at the end of the day, like, yeah, you're still working on it and it's your show, but at the end of the day, it's not your show; it's the company's show. And unfortunately, for a lot of these companies, you know, when they don't see a profit or they don't see it to where they see it making enough money in the future to the point where, like, when they see it to where, look, I know in your head you want this to be the ending, but man, well, we're looking at the dollar signs and you better wrap this like stuff up, because at the end of the day, we're giving you this timeline. We don't care how it ends. You better end it, because at the end of the day, like, this is a business and we need to make money.
Right.
I mean, it's unfortunate, and it's like one of those things where there's always been a clash when it comes to, you know, the creativity, when it comes to, you know, creators want to be creative and really like put their story that they really want to like tell and enjoy, you know, for the audience, but also when it comes to the company, be like nah, like, I think we gotta make money. So I just find it interesting. There's always, you know, this clash when it comes to the creators and the company.
Okay. Tim, you got anything to say about this?
Oh, yeah. I feel like one of the main reasons why mangaka are actually ending their publications is because the editors are telling them to end it, but also because they work themselves to the bone.
Right.
You got to push out a chapter every week, and it's so hard. Even if you get in the groove of things, it's beyond hard to have a team drawing out a new chapter every week as the story progresses. That's why Dragon Ball Z has so many filler like moments, because Akira Toriyama was just like, I don't know what to do. Right. So it's like these people like work themselves to the bone,
and then some people even sit there and try to go to.
They still go. They have medical issues. They work with family. They get minimal sleep. It's like that's not healthy for you. So a lot of them I do feel are just like they're becoming more. It's become noticeable with the whole entire workforce. They're more aware of their own mental health and like personal health. Then, like, they're not so sacrificey. They still are sacrificey, but it's not, like, as bad as it used to be.
Right.
Like, being up till 3 or 4 in the morning, working on a manga panel, and then the same thing the next morning, that takes its toll. So I feel like that's got to be a driving force as to why a lot of them are just, it ends where it ends. Because, 1, they want to get the story over with. 2, I mean, it's cool. Every story has to have an end.
Right.
Like, One Piece is dope, but it's going on for too long. Like, it's beautiful. It's a great ride. But
I hear that we're in the final saga for One Piece.
It's not there yet, but it's on its way. I know. It's coming. The buildup is insane right now.
It's funny, like, in the beginning of, like, the theme song, it's like, come aboard and sing along your hopes and dreams. And a lot of us are like, look, man, I thought it was like a 3-day cruise. I expect to be with y'all for like 10 years. Yeah. like sooner or later, the buffet gets stale after a while.
At that point, you're just like, get me off. Let me off, please.
Look, man, you kind of missed my stop. I stopped back. But, you know, just going back to DanDaDan, like, yeah, this has been like a series I really am excited to, you know, get into. You know, it's been a while since I've really been excited to get into a series. Another one that you got me into was, of course, Undead Unluck, but also Sakamoto Days is one that I really can't wait for the anime. Is it coming out like next year?
Sakamoto Days is coming out, next year. So like, I'm excited for that one.
Oh yeah, you know, look, I know. And
Sam, I'm about to recommend you Sakamoto Days.
Sakamoto Days, okay.
Think of it as an assassin who marries, gets fat, and then other assassins try to kill him.
I've seen the commercial for that.
And he still
looks really good.
and he still knows how to whoop some butt. But yeah, you know, it's been fun talking to y'all.
So we're going to end off here. But one thing I'm about to ask y'all is, what did you like from DanDaDan so far?
So far? I'll pop in. One, so since I've only seen the movie and just read the manga, started reading the manga today, one thing I will say I love about the movie is the animation changes. Like, how when, like, it was nice and bright when they got to the temple, but then when they stepped out and it was black and white, it looked just like the manga panels. So, like, I really love, like, that they, like, because if you read the manga straight up, you don't know that happens because it's all in black and white. But in in the movie, it was all color and then nothing but black and white, and it was like the darks were extra dark. And I also liked how in the 20-minute like interviews with everybody, they talked about how they like adapted like some of the horror scenes. So instead of like seeing the dudes off in the distance, like where it's just you see like the outline of them, like it was like a slow burn, like darkness. You're like, there's something in that darkness, and then it shows them. And like with the way how the lighting was played with, I like that. I really love the style. I love the character and how he says like, because he kind of talks like, honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you, reading the manga and watching the show, I noticed that when he's like changes into his form, he kind of talks like a nigga. He's like, yo, what's up, yo? They're like, why do you keep saying yo after everything? I don't know, yo.
It's funny because when Okurin transforms into his Turbo Granny form, it basically he becomes depressed, and so that's why every time whenever he's talking, he's like, man, this is such a bummer. But I liked how in the show he goes, this is such a bummer, yo. And I'm like why are you saying yo after everything?
Okay, I'm gonna beat her up. I don't know if I can, yo. Right. Like that. I love that. Like that they have that. They gave these characters that kind of dynamic, because you really don't see that a lot in like anime that I've seen personally. It's a really good newer shonen. Like I like it. I really dig it, and I can't wait to see how it continues on.
You said one thing?
Yeah.
No, man. Okay. So someone who hasn't, seen the anime, of course, seen the trailers of it, then I can't wait for it. Of course, it's just the colors, the different animation styles that they're doing, and I just love how weird it is, I've been just, when it comes to anime, anime always has to find this nice balance with me where it doesn't get too weird or too ridiculous to the point I'm like, okay, wait a minute, this is just too bizarre. It's funny because I remember, of course, I love JJK, but I remember the first time I watched JJK with you actually was when we went to see the JJK Zero movie, and I never seen any of the anime before. And, JJK Zero is like a prequel, to the show. And it's funny, like, okay, these characters, they got swords, they got powers and everything. And then a panda showed up, and I was like, okay, now this is just weird. Like, what's happening? Are you being weird to be weird? What's happening? But, when you bring in supernatural, when you bring in aliens, I want it to be weird. I want it to be crazy. And I want it to be outlandish. And, when they first show the first aliens, and they're just this weird business dudes.
Yep.
And they get very weird and...
no, dude. The robot arm,
I feel like calling 911.
This is a straight up hentai now.
I was like, what you get me into? You didn't prepare me for this. Like, what's happening?
I never prepare you for anything I'm about to talk about.
I know, and that's the problem.
It opens up. It's just straight, it's like, how is that gonna, what?
I love, the teamwork between, the two characters. I love the fact that, we have, in this era, of now we finally have strong women in anime. Like, we ain't doing like a Sakura situation.
We're not doing a Sakura. We're not doing an Orihime where they have to be rescued by the main character.
Right. Like, we actually have a woman who's actually not one, but a girl is actually gonna kick some butt.
Right.
Oh, that's also a big thing. The fact that they're not too OP to where it's just ridiculous.
Right.
Like how in Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z, they pretty much took all the Z fighters and made them null and void. And then Super kind of retconned that, but now it's like you got Super Saiyan God mode, Ultimate Instinct, and all that stuff. Ultra Instinct.
Ultra Instinct. Now you got Ultra Ego. It's like,
who are you fighting to need all this anymore? Like, what's the point? Like, are you even saving the Earth anymore? Like, I haven't begun Dragon Ball Super, but that stuff like that makes me think of how in Naruto, it was the original three, Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura just really fell to the wayside on that.
And then it just became Naruto.
Hinata can't fell to, all the characters fell to the wayside, just became Naruto and Sasuke.
Right.
And like I do like that. I feel like this won't do that because it's the two of them that has to work together.
I feel like recent anime has done a good job of balancing out the characters. Of course, with My Hero Academia, there's a lot of characters, and there's a lot of characters I didn't expect, to get like an arc for. And I'm like, wait, you got an arc? You ain't that smart, so you just got a tail.
That's funny.
Like, wait, you're something, but you were just the invisible girl. Now you're important,
right?
Wait, the guy with the nasal beam. You're top tier character now. I thought you were in the background, but I feel like modern anime has done a better job of like.
Avoid me not to ever get a girlfriend. That's all I care about.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
He probably did.
Did he ever get accepted by anybody?
He probably did, but I mean...
He was such a heel.
Horikoshi left the ending up, and he left it up to the fans,
Okay, cool.
Well, time to wrap it up.
Alright, thanks for listening, and we hope you've enjoyed your visit to...
The Underground Geek Shack.
See you guys.
Bye!
Maestro.